So they'll be calling you a radical. So apparently anti-nuclearism, anti-nuclear energy is old-fashioned. Okay. Cancer's old-fashioned. All right. Freaking earthquakes are old-fashioned. Nuclear waste is old-fashioned. All right. Okay. Fucking talk about generational arrogance on Balco. Holy shit. So, as you know, I've always said, what is the definition of religion? Generational arrogance. So, this putting together the propaganda machine out here now, Holtec. Now get this. This is the shamockery of the pork and the great American fairy tale. Just think about it. By the day you were born, they're grooming you into lies. How old were you when you figured out that they just slaughtered all the indigenous people and stole their land? And they lived here before the European invaders, or the worldwide invaders came here. How old were you when you figured that one out? George Washington did not, he cut down a cherry tree. Betsy Ross sewed a flag. I mean, the whole thing is fairy tale. Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Madison Avenue Bull. I mean, you're postured and groomed from the beginning to believe these great American experimental lies. And that's what they are. So the whole nuclear energy is clean, green, too cheap. I mean, you're talking the greatest lie in human history. But this one, they went too far. You know, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink. You know, this country had some good things going on for it, you know, when I was young in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Now, gone. So this is the new propaganda machine. Get this. Holtec. Now, this is the media propaganda machine. Palisades nuclear reactor going to restart in Michigan. Yeah. Is it? You know, Holtec's going to make a bunch. Now, here's how it's going to play out. This is how the nuclear sham occurred. So, all the nuclear reactors closing down all over. It's the same thing. The playbook was set in New York. Sadowski and Cuomo, bank bailout on chemo. I'm the only one fighting them fiercely on the bailouts. So, there's so much pork through Price-Anderson, through the Immunity Act, through the Department of Energy, which was originally the Department of Nuclearism. I mean, billions of pork. So Holtec, same thing happened. The 3 nuclear reactors upstate New York, they're done. They got to shut down. So company rolls in, buys them for peanuts on the dollar. Then they go to the government and says, hey, give us, you know, not millions, billions, 7.6 billion. Okay, here. And New York, the city that never sleeps, sleeps. So Holtec rolls in and buys Palisades for peanuts. Pennies on the dollar, literally. Thing's done. I mean, I remember the executive for the company that owned it before come out and says, "No, we're done. We're closing this thing. This thing is a, you know, it's a big old suckhole. So we're done." So this is how the media reports it. All these politicians, yay, they're all for it. Well, why don't you go next door to Ohio and ask them, hey, the Browns look good on Sunday. You know why? Karma matters. Do you know the story about the Cleveland Browns and nuclear energy crime syndicate? Do you know that story? Do you? The lead politician in the state of Ohio, Larry Householder, is doing 20 years in prison. The Republican House Majority Speaker is doing 20 years in the joint. The people that bribed him, First Energy, the stadium, in their press boxes, unleash the lions. Don't even know their name. No charges, let alone go to prison. How's that possible? It takes 2 to tango, Bobby. So next door, oh, yay, Michigan, yeah. I can tell you, that's been reported. Yes, ready to start up. They signed a deal with another company, to do a propaganda machine to go to the government and get more pork. It's just like the whole new scale little new reactors. I see this revolving door that comes out of the United States Department of Energy. Remember Sam Britman, the purse snatcher? He's head of the nuclear waste. Well, this woman here, she gets a new job with one of the startup on the little SMRs. There's a bunch of those startups. None of them got licenses. Even the new scale license was tainted in fraud, but Utah funding them. And they've already come out and says it doesn't work. Fairy tale. Easter Bunny. Santa Claus, the great American lie, goes on and on and on. Kids, name the third world shithole. Why? Here's America for you. Germany, the best nuclear physicist in the world. Not my words. Oppie. I love how we still love Oppie. Love Oppie. One of the creepiest human beings who ever walked the face of the earth. Robert J. Oppenheimer could be the greatest low-life scumbag who ever walked the face of the earth. Unless, you know, Truman, I guess, maybe. Robert J. Oppenheimer, Manhattan Project. (1940). If the Germans want this weapon, this bomb first, they will get it first. They're the best nuclear physicists in the world. Oh, Oppie knew full well they weren't interested and didn't have it. Even Leo, who wrote the letter to FDR, Einstein didn't write that letter. The DOE will still tell you that it did. Department of Energy used to be called the Department of Atomic. Jeff Bezos, grandfather, guys. Jeff Bezos born to a 14-year-old mother at Los Alamos. I mean, just a coincidence that Zorro Ranch is there, the Epstein clan. So, Oppie, Leo, who wrote the letter, even in 43, when the United States government had intelligence behind enemy lines. The communique, long-time intelligence, came back. Baby never born, mother never pregnant. They ain't got it. As soon as that communique come by, Joseph, who's the one who really split the atom, flat, UK, he backed out. I'm out. He left the Manhattan Project. Leo says, I'm out. We're not dropping it. That's who wrote the letter. You know, the Hungarian physicists. They all said, no, don't drop. Of course, Einstein was hardcore anti-nuclear. Yeah, they wouldn't even let him near the freaking Manhattan Project. Of course, Teller was all for it, wasn't he? Oh boy, don't even get me going on that guy. And Oppie. Oppie said right up that he would have dropped it on Germany if they would have got it soon enough. Whoa. What if he'd have dropped two? His own words. It's all about the pork. They opened up the spigot on the Manhattan Project. They never shut it off. So the whole world's tearing out concrete. Germany's doing it in a big way all over Europe. If you've been to Europe lately, you'll see it's incredible what they're doing right now as far as tearing out the concrete. They're tearing out asphalt, they're tearing out concrete and putting it back to green space and natural wetlands and marsh. This is a natural wetland. There's nothing wrong with it. Turn it into concrete. Concrete makes a giant footprint, gigantic footprint. There goes the greenwashing bus that no one rides, it's empty. You know, they worked on it for 22 years. Electricity going to save us. Where do we get our fossil fuels? Our electricity from in Utah? You got it, fossil fuels. Why don't we have the sun? The sun shines here 300 days a year. All day, every day. I just told you why. The Nuclear Energy Crime Syndicate has their tentacles and fingers everywhere, because it's not millions, not that trillions of dollars a year flow to these fairy tale industry, and they don't have to do anything. It's like Gates is going to build his little SMR he built, and Cox gets in bed with him, our governor. Bill Gates was the most hated man in Utah for decades because of the operating system was invented here. Bruce Bastian, Alan Ashton. Remember? Word Perfect, Shift F13. Remember? And then 95, he stole it. He never been in anything. We had a lawsuit. We had a lawsuit against a hung juror. I was in the bone marrow transplant thing into life, or I'd have been there protesting. And that was in the fall of 2011. But it's all old-fashioned. I like how this article is out now saying that these young activists says Greenpeace pivoted a long time ago. Greenpeace never said a word about Fukushima. Nuclear waste is old-fashioned. Okay. All right. Cancer is old-fashioned. Okay. It's like I constantly, to this day, have, I don't know how many people a day tell me about how to save cancer, how to beat cancer. This is the people that have never had cancer, have no medical background, who have no nothing. Now, they saw it on the internet. This is the generational arrogance. Get your soup can out. Beet juice. I chug a lot of beet juice. Every day I get tired, and I make sure I walk enough to get tired, and then I chug it. A lot of beet juice mustaches from Kevin Blanch. I was given 2 months to live, as you know. in 2011 with a radical form of AML, de novo leukemia, was pretty well unsurvivable. There are a few people surviving it more and more every day now. And people are still telling. 12 years I've made it. It's been a brutal fight. So, Greenpeace pivoted. Greenpeace isn't anti-nuclear. Fukushima's the litmus test on that. But if you're going to say, okay, I remember standing right here, 2009-ish, 10-ish, Kevin Blanch, the activist. And remember I used to wear the blue glasses when I was fighting cancer? You know, have those cool blue glasses. Ooh, that'll get you dizzy. And so, I remember standing right here. This woman told me, she says, oh my God, Kevin Blanch. Well, activism's kind of old-fashioned. Do you think? Boy, it'll take off. Occupy Wall Street's 10 years old, ain't it? How about the Million Mass March? 10 years old, right? Occupy's 12 years old, ain't it? Wow. But scientists are mystified, they're baffled, they're stumped, they're perplexed, they're curious, they're bewildered. Dell in Virginia Beach made these. That's it. There's my lingo. They're great, right? And I don't have them. He has them. Dell has them. I have a few, but I wear them. So, I guess cancer is old-fashioned. Generation. What about nuclear waste? Let's see the half-life. How about, Chernobyl? That's old-fashioned. 3 Mile Island? That's old-fashioned. Chalk River? That's old-fashioned. How about Idaho National Lab when they had to kill people off the labs when the SMR blew up there? Old-fashioned. San Suzanne in LA? Oh, that's all old-fashioned. 8/8 on the White Sea in Russia in 2019? That's old-fashioned. Fukushima? That was a long time ago. That's old-fashioned. Cancer? That's old-fashioned. Okay. All right. How about earthquakes? TikTok, Diablo can't. We haven't had one since a major one in that neck since 89, 44 years. Earthquakes are old-fashioned. Oh. Tsunamis, I remember talking to a woman. I was in LA doing some activism. She's like, well, we don't get tsunamis. What do you mean you don't get tsunamis here? Come here. You lived here how long? My whole life. You're older than I am. Come here. You see that sign right there? Yeah. Tsunami. Oh, I've never really paid attention to that sign. See on top of that building right up there? You know what that is? No, that's a siren. For what? I said Diablo San Onofre. They had sirens up there in the day. What? TikTok, Diablo Canyon Clock. Environmentalism. Being a true blue grassroots environmental. Oh, that's old-fashioned. Okay. Old-fashioned. All right. Fukushima. Oh, that's old-fashioned. I stood right here. Early March. They're lying. Just remember when they lie, the medium, the propaganda machine. I stood right here. March 12th, 13th, every day, 4,567 days, I believe we're on, or 68. Just remember this when they tell you these aren't meltdowns, these are just hydrogen blasts. The plume's okay, Barack Obama told you. You know, Hillary Clinton's emails didn't say that. It says, don't go outside. If you do, take a shower, wash your clothes, be safe. I never got those emails. I was working right up there on the roof. We know the plume happened right. I got leukemia. I went in the bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11. Like my doctor says, he says, your story is the most compelling story I've ever seen in my life. What you've done with your cancer, as far as the anti-nuclear, well, it's way past Nobel Prize when he said I had open heart surgery twice, you know. I'm recovering from open heart surgery. The second time. I mean, pulled my heart out, harvest an artery out of my leg. I have a pacemaker. It's been a brutal fight. I mean, brutal fight. 12 years I've been through it. Yet they have dozens of Facebook pages, dozens of YouTube sites, 100% with my name on it, to do nothing but slander me. Felonies in all 50 states, and I'm the one that gets the strikes on my sites. But they can do anything they want to me, which are felonies in all 50. Again, Ohio, Energy Solutions, the Browns. You don't believe me that they're the untouchable? Larry Household, they're the lead politician in the state of Ohio. The House Majority Leader is doing 20 years in a federal prison for taking bribes. The people that bribed him, no charges. What else do I have to say? Fukushima's the litmus test. You tell me they're catching all this water in the tanks, they caught all the water, then how did I present all the data every time? How did all that cesium get in the ocean in 2011? It comes from man-made. The only cesium 137 only comes from man-made nuclear meltdown event. How to get into those fish in January of 2022, 40 kilometers off. How did that happen? I thought they didn't release till August 24th. How did that happen? 18,000 becquerels of cesium 137 in the harbor at Fukushima. I thought they caught all the water. Californium, rest in peace. Livermorium, Tennesseeum, what's that? Plutonium. But it's old-fashioned. Okay. You're all going to get your turn. The propaganda machine goes on, and you just keep doling them out money because you believe in these fairy tales. There are no SMRs. The only SMR that got licensed, Idaho National Lab, Jose Reyes, who was placed the head of the NRC, worked together. That should have been reclusion by automatic. They've already come back and says that license didn't work. They're supposed to have 24 of them on in Utah by 2019. They have 0 on. They're saying it might be 6 by 23rd. They've already come back and said, we'll reapply for a new license. Sam Altman of Stanford, I am the crypto scam. Sam Altman, another, Elizabeth Holmes, the new Stanford, Edward Teller, has come out and he's raising money. He's going to the venture capitalists right now. Say, hey, give me money. The NRC rejected his license, and he's still going to go raise money. And what do these people think? Because here's how it works, like the new skill. Throw money at it. Take it public. Raise the stock up a little. The feds will dump money into it. Everybody will support it. Pump it up. Unload your stock. Make a nice profit. The shareholders go bankrupt. Bye, see ya. Immunity Act, no charges. It's become a Ponzi scheme, shakedown sham by the trillions that are. They all know it. Price Anderson, you don't have to pay it back. Hello. The country's asleep. They don't even know what I'm talking about. The Immunity Act, you could get all the free money and they dole out billions. And you don't think Germany doesn't know what they're doing? Angela Merkel, nuclear physicist, out of Fukushima. That's it, we're done. The whole world is fighting back against Fukushima. Has been the entire time. Not us. I fought back. I had huge first protest. The Million Mass March 10 years ago, I organized that. Me and John Anthony. On the backs of the Fukushima meltdown. We had 7 million people. Should have seen it in D.C. that day. There's videos all over. The first inaugural speech, I lead the march. The inaugural speech, the whole police escort, the whole 9 yards. It was ruling the Fukushima meltdowns. You see any media? Remember, Mikhail Lessons unlearned. What, he was beat to death on Fifth Army? Who's that? You think that's all coincidence? It's all just a coincidence. Went up to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went up to Iraq to get a big old sack. Talk about fairy tales. Went up to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. Boogeyman, we watched a song. It's a think tank like Bob Dylan. Didn't Bob Dylan have a song called ISIS? Pledge your allegiance. Drop bomb on women and children. Every president, as soon as they get inaugurated, that's what they have to do. They have to pledge allegiance to the war pigs. Look it up. That's what they do. Obama bombed Doctors Without Borders twice. Trump, right at the get. Boom. Women and children. Oh, my bad. Oh, Biden. Oh, women and children. Oh, my bad. Who is this country? It's a fucking sham. Really out of control. Debt. 33. Fuck the debt. What? In 99 was a major issue. It was 3 trillion. 1980 was 300 billion. There was no debt. It's 33 trillion, really, and angry. Hyper-psychotic inflation. Out of control psycho. Homeless crisis from hell. Mental health crisis from hell. Crumbling infrastructure. corrupt politicians, corrupt courts, corruption everywhere. The PPP loans shamockery, just looted and robbed up, down, rank and file, nothing. This country's economy has become corruption. Without corruption, we'd have no economy anymore. The entire economy's corruption. The country's out of order. The fucking courts are out of order. The whole fucking place is out of fucking order. Nuclear, their best tool. It's free money, but it's old-fashioned. Nuclear meltdowns are old-fashioned. Okay. Nuclear waste is old-fashioned, Hanford. Hanford's old-fashioned. Okay. Chernobyl's old-fashioned. Cancer's old-fashioned. Here come the war pigs. Oh, we too well pretend. Hands up, no nukes. You know how much it costs every time one of those goes into the air? You know, China has one. Remember the Japanese pilot flew one in there? They're going to save us. The oligarchs, oh, they make it rain in Ukraine. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get a big old sack. Went off to Vietnam to kill the Vietcong. Fucking boogeyman, they invented ISIS. Oligarchs make it rain in Ukraine. Proxy war on Balco, on chemo. What's depleted uranium? Where do you think we get depleted uranium? Nuclear energy. Where do you think we get freaking... It's against international law, depleted uranium. White phosphorus on your own men in Iraq. Iraq never did anything to us. Neither did Afghanistan. They were Saudis. Oh, but we got, you know, feed the beast. Feed the beast. I stood right here. Don't believe them. Don't believe. These are full blown out meltdowns. They're going to lie. They're going to lie. They're going to genocide the Pacific Ocean. They're going to push it into the freaking end. They're going to genocide. It's going to wipe out the tide pools first. I did the tide pool work. That's me on mine. No, but my tide pool work alone had historic low tide. Holy cow. Full of cancer, collision. Some of the lowest tides in hundreds and hundreds of years, if not thousands, on incredible moon cycles up and down the coast. Raw footage that is so freaking by the hundreds of hours, proving to you the salmon work, the acute collapse of the salmon, the heat bubble over the western ice. You're going to chalk that up to coincidence? I stood right here and said, it's going to genocide the Pacific Ocean. It's going to cause a heat bubble over the United States. This is an energy unforeseen in the history of mankind. Didn't happen at Chernobyl. Didn't happen at 3 Mile Island. Didn't happen at freaking Mayak. Didn't happen at Santa Susana. Didn't happen. These are full blown out meltdowns. Just remember when they circle the wagons and tell you, freaking, these are not things. Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. George W. Bush won Florida in 2000. No, he didn't. Pat Tillman fought off 9 million Al-Qaeda in Bala. Jessica Lynch fought off, they got her correction. No. Alas. Just remember there, you look back 10, 12 years ago, who told you the truth? These are full-blown up meltdowns. They're going to genocide. Did they? I don't do opinion. I do real science. We have the data now. We have all the data. It's unarguable science that there was an outlier, major outlier that happened in the Pacific Ocean and the North American ecology in 20. It's unarguable because we have the salmon counts. We have the tide pool counts. We have those numbers you can plug or get. It's unarguable science. I am the science. I am the science. And I'm not old-fashioned. I'm logical. It's the greatest PhD in human history. Cancer is old-fashioned. Environmentalism, it's old-fashioned. Activism, it's old-fashioned. Earthquakes, TikTok, building nuclear reactors on the ring of fire. Oh, what could go wrong? Let's keep it open. They're going to restart Palisades in Michigan. Okay. Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, unicorns. George Washington could not tell a lie. He cut down that cherry tree. Betsy Ross sewed that fucking flag. Manifest destiny on chemo. Whoa. Breathing out of control inflation, breathing out of control debt, crumbling infrastructure, corrupt politicians, homeless crisis from health, mental health crisis from health, freaking health crisis, medical health crisis from health, cancer rates going way up, longevity going way down. poison food chain, corrupt courts, corrupt corporations. They just poison you left and right. Don't drink the fucking water. The great American experiment. Gorbachev to Kevin Blanch's face. Indiana Hospital years ago. You know what took down the old Soviet Union? Chernobyl. The meltdowns at Chernobyl took down the old Soviet Union. You know what took down the old USA? The meltdowns at Fukushima, Japan. They tried to cover them up in the Soviet Union too. They tried to cover them up. Didn't work. You all act like you don't know as the cancer slowly grows. Tell me lies. Tell me sweet little nuclear lies. It's old-fashioned, Blanche. You're old-fashioned. Fighting back with your brain in a logical, strong way is old-fashioned. You know, anti-nuclearism is old-fashioned. Nuclear waste is old-fashioned. TikTok, Diablo Canyon is old-fashioned. Cancer is old-fashioned. Okay. Nuclear waste is old-fashioned. Okay. Okay. Huh. Huh. Okay. It's old-fashioned. Just an old-fashioned love song what Kevin Blanch wrote for you and me. Fucking the great selfishness plague. Trying to save you from you is a real Kevin Blanch. Oh, he's old-fashioned. Stand tuned.